Welcome back to the final installment of the Death Head Dice 2012 Spring Friendly BatRep Tournament Series. We're in the final round of Orks vs. Orks Part 2. So on to Spencer's Orks turn 2. Start off doing the reserve roll for the Death Coptas. The one squad of 2 comes in, as well as the second squad. And they move up 12 inches. Moving the looted wagon up, as well as moving the squad of boys back to where they were the first time. Into shooting, the Death Copters are going to fire at the war bikes. They get 2 shots, twin linked, with 1 hit and 1 wound. And I managed to make my save. The boys of the shooters are going to fire at the war bikes as well. They get 10 shots. Of those 10 shots, after he rerolls the cock dice, gets 3 hits and 1 wound, to which I managed to make a save. Now the rockets from the hard boys are going to fire at the truck, get 2 shots and no hits. And now the shooters are going to fire. They get 12 shots. Of those 12 shots, 4 hit, and he gets 1 glancing hit. Now he rolls a 1. Now we unfortunately throughout the entire game we forgot the +1 for open top, so we did this as stun, but it actually should have been shaken, so he shouldn't be allowed to move next turn. So on to my turn 2, bringing the bikes up. And I think we mentioned before we didn't consider the surrounding area around the area as difficult terrain, so the bikes went after the boys, and then Wazdaka moved up after the Death Coptas. Both the battle wagon and the truck moved up. And into shooting, the looters are going to fire on the squad of hard boys and get 3 shots each, so that's 30 shots. Of those 30 shots, 6 hit and 5 of those wound, and because it's an AP4 weapon, they don't get to make a save. Wazdak is going to fire at the Death Coptas. He gets 4 shots, 2 of those hit and 2 of those wound. And because it's strength 8 versus the toughness 4, it actually manages to insta-kill both those bikes. Next up, the bikes are going to fire, and they get 15 shots, and that's got to be the worst roll I've ever done. Not a single hit. So good thing it was twin link, so I wind up getting 3 hits. Of those, 2 wound, and because again the AP out is higher than the armor save, there's no save there. So now we go into assault. The bikes are going to go in and assault the squad of remaining of the boys there. So they get 16 attacks. Of those 16 attacks, 11 wind up hitting, and of those 11, 8 are wounds. And Spencer makes the save, rolls for saves, and misses all of them. So there's 8 guys who are wiped out the squad of boys there. So that brings us to the end of turn 2. As you can see, the one truck's on the side. Spencer's moving his stuff up. And the war bikes and the battle wagon are moving in along the one flank. And here's a length view of the table. That brings us to the end of part 2. Click on the link to see part 3. Comment below. Let us know who you think is going to win the game at this point. Is Spencer's boys going to beat my toys, or does the toys have an advantage at this point? It's at this point I think it's anyone's game. As always, we ask if you want to see more of these videos, click on like and subscribe. That way we know there's an audience for them. And I've got a Twitter feed going for Death Head Dice with updates on what I'm doing and what I'm working on. So feel free to subscribe to that. And for those BlackBerry users out there, we've also got a Death Head Dice BBM group where you can subscribe by scanning the barcode and join in the conversations, post photos, etc. We're having a fun time there. So once again, click on the link for part 3. If you have any rules, corrections, suggestions, comments, criticisms, throw them in the comment section below. And we'll see you in a few minutes in part 3.